We are now joined in studio by the Jewish News 1 correspondent, Ron Jacobson. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, Yael.
What do you have for us?
Well, today we have lots of entertainment news, starting with NBC bringing back Heroes, one of my favorite shows from the early 2000s. It's off the air for around 5 years, and NBC has decided to bring it back for what they call an event series, meaning they will put only 13 episodes on the air, and it's not going to be an ongoing thing for more seasons.
And they're going to readapt it to 2014, or?
Well, hopefully. It's going to be Heroes Reborn, so it can go either way, either giving it a prequel or something in the future. And Tim Kring, who is, of course, the creator and executive producer of Heroes, is working these days on a new show with Gideon Raff from Homeland, someone we know locally as well. The show is called Dig, and it will be shot completely in Jerusalem. It's going to be the first primetime show, American primetime show, that will be shot in Israel. And as a show of gratitude, so to say, the State of Israel is giving them a grant of over $6 million as an incentive to shoot here, and maybe we'll see in the future more primetime shows from America shooting in Israel.
Which is obviously always helpful for the local economy and the local movie scene. We are dying every time the Homeland comes to shoot here, and we see Claire Danes walking around Jaffa.
Yes.
So that's always great. There's been casualties from the digital age.
Yes.
Everything from the 80s and 90s are slowly slithering away.
Remember 777 Film? That was the number you called to get a ticket on Moviefone. Of course, Seinfeld made it so popular back in the 90s.
It did.
And it is going towards being only digital. Now you'll be able to order your tickets only via the app. No more phone calls. I guess that's old school, as we like to say.
It must be. It must be. And make sure that everyone knows how to use this app, and it just assumes that everyone has a smartphone, which is
not true. And you know, it's also not taking into consideration the older generation who maybe was using this kind of service and won't be able to do so in the future.
But at the same time, I'm sure they've seen a decline in the call-in service, and they said we have to do something in terms of business.
Obviously.
An app is the only way to go.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll see if that's a smart business move or a flop. What else do you have?
Well, I think that maybe Moviefone could use Alec Baldwin as someone who will rant for them, because he does that so well.
He does. He gets into the headlines no matter what he says.
Well, you know, he got a show on MSNBC in the U.S., and he probably didn't read into it, because the show was on at 10 p.m. on Fridays. You know, we TV people know it as the graveyard shift. He took himself way too serious on that, and got into trouble with the network and was ranting. And basically, after just a few weeks on the air, when the ratings were sliding, even in that graveyard shift, he was taken off the air. And now we've seen a 5,300 blog on the New York Magazine's website, him ranting against the media, against his bosses, and Shia LaBeouf of all people.
Yeah. Oh, he's ranting against Shia LaBeouf. Poor Shia LaBeouf, what'd he do? But you know, he was such a big star, and actually did well in 30 Rock.
Yes, and I think that there's also a thing to be said about actors becoming hosts. They're forgetting that as a journalist or as a host, the media scrutiny is much bigger. You're less being forgiven for saying things, you know, that are out of context, out of line, not PC. You know, as an actor, I say, oh, he's an actor, he's artistic, he said that, but he didn't really mean that. You know, when you're a host of a talk show and you go out and say things, you know, it's not as forgiven, as we all know.
And it's interesting that you know, in this editorial in New York Magazine, he says that he's quitting public life, as if he was this, you know, elected official that is now letting the audience know that he's quitting.
I think he still believes he's the head of NBC from 30 Rock.
Well, maybe, yeah. Poor Shia LaBeouf. I'm still going back to Shia LaBeouf. What else do we have?
Sam Worthington, who of course we know from Avatar, has been in the midst of a big controversy. He's hit a paparazzi paparazzi who has...
Speaking of Alec Baldwin, who in the past has been accused of the
I
same.
remember when he was married to Kim Basinger.
Of
Oh my
course,
God!
yeah.
And even then later with his daughter, etc., etc. So Sam Worthington hit a paparazzi and was arrested for it. However, it was quickly realized that the paparazzi was at fault. So she was also arrested, and it's going to be very interesting because tomorrow is the court case, and we'll see exactly what's happening. But of course,
and this might set a precedent. Usually, actors are always, seen as, why are you hitting the paparazzi? They're just trying to move your career forward.
Exactly.
You should want this.
Well, it's at this point, I think there should be some legislation about privacy laws for paparazzis and what they can or cannot do, because it does get out of hand. Getting that picture that will pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars on the cover of one of the tabloids, they'll do anything for that. So
Indeed.
Not so fun, so to say.
And maybe the next blockbuster of the year? Would you say so?
Well, Jonathan, listen carefully. Dennis Rodman, who, of course, we know from his past in the NBA.
I call him the North Korean guy.
There
Well,
you go.
here you
So
go.
that's exactly what the movie is going to be about. Fox has decided to make a movie about his trip to North Korea, where he taught the North Korean to play basketball, but also played Marilyn Monroe to the president of North Korea and sang happy birthday to him.
Wow. So it's a complete fictional, based on a true story, but it's supposed to be a comedy.
Well,
It's not going to be a documentary.
No, it's not a documentary. It's going to be
Dennis
a movie.
Rodman, it is comedy.
It is. There you go. There's no real character analysis here. You have it right in front
How
of
can
you.
it be different?
The question to be asked right now is, who will play Dennis Rodman?
One can only hope that it'll be Dennis Rodman.
I don't know if he,
Or Chris Rock,
the only time
Rock
that
would
I
be
can
amazing.
remember in the past that something like that happened was with Howard Stern. Remember when he paid himself, and that it didn't go so well, I must
It didn't
say.
go so well. Yeah, I guess if they make it really Hollywood and bring in all the good actors, make sure, even like Adam Sandler or something, not obviously, but get a good comedian in there. That's what you need for a good movie.
So I guess everybody's lining up at Fox Studios to get the audition for that new movie. Who knows?
Indeed. Ron Jacobson, thank you for joining us. Jonathan Regev, of course, thank you for joining us. Keep tabs on Dennis Rodman. We still always want to hear about him.
We will.
Even if he's getting a movie made about him, but he's still, of course, a sports hero.
Of course, he is a hero.
He is a hero. There you go. Thank you both for joining us. We're going to be here tomorrow. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter, and all the time on our website, i24news.tv. We'll see you tomorrow.